Hello, friend. This is Ryan Hicks of TalkToProfit.com. Today I want to talk to you about how the way of the Lord is strength to the upright. Many people profess to be Christians, but they talk about how they have no energy, they have no strength. Oh, life is so hard, life is so this and that. And it's a constant motivation to complain and whine and murmur. And yet the way of the Lord is strength. And this may be something that many people are lacking, because when you see in daily life how people live, and I'm not just talking about sinning or not sinning, because that's obvious. Hopefully it should be obvious that you should not be out committing sin. But it goes even beyond that to you're an imitator of God. So the way of the Lord is strength. Now, what does that mean? Are you behaving like the Lord? Are you doing things like He does? Because here's one prime example, and I mentioned this numerous times. God worked 6 days in the beginning in Genesis chapter 1. We see 6 days of work. Then He rests. Now He's still working to this day, but the point was He worked 6 full days. And yet people today claiming to be graced by the Lord Jesus Christ, and they won't work 6 days. They work 5 days, and if you really counted all their actual activity, they're working 2 or 3 days a week in true actual work. This does not mean that your life exists only to be a laborer and to work. That's obviously not the case. But you are to be productive. You are to be accomplishing things, having achievements, whatever that may be for you. Now, I don't know where you're coming from. I don't know what skills you have or weaknesses you have. You know that. And if you don't, you can draw down deep and really figure that out. But here's the thing. For most, it doesn't matter what skills they have, what abilities they have, they're never going to maximize them and use them to their greatest ability and get the most accomplished. They just won't. They'll have all kinds of excuses, from their family to their friends to their neighborhood to their country to politics to the government to whatever. There's always 100 excuses. And yet the reality is they're choosing of their own free will to not make the best life they could possibly have. But I would presume if you're watching a video like this, that that's not you. That's not what you want to do. You don't want to be one of those people that is scraping by through life, going from one mediocre event to another mediocre event until you die. You want to have a great and glorious life, a life that does the most it could possibly do with the skills and abilities that you have. You don't have to live somebody else's life. You don't have to be as accomplished as somebody else. You can be as accomplished as you have the ability, whatever that may be. I want you to really stop and really consider and think. Are you operating in the way of the Lord, the way the Lord does things? Is that your way? Or is your way following the trends, following traditions of men, following modern habits, following a 40-hour work week and calling that your job is done now? This mediocrity is 5 days a week, and all these things that people do that they claim, and they have all these spiritualized excuses for why they do these things. But the reality is they're not putting forth their maximum amount of effort. They're not trying to be their best. They're legitimately not. And that's not you, my friend. I want you to really consider, as you're going throughout your day, are you doing things unto the Lord? Are you doing things in the way of the Lord? Because if you are, you're going to find strength. You're going to find resolve. You're going to find that hidden energy that you thought you didn't have rise up out of you and bring about great and mighty works. My friend, I pray this is a blessing for you. May God bless you richly.